The Chicago Cubs, baseball's weak sister. That's what the Cubs used to be called before the 2016 World Series victory that lifted a lot of curses. The Chicago Cubs franchise started out great in the 1900s. They won two titles, 1907 and 1908. So that was good. And Cubs thought, we can go to finals, we can win titles. Wrongo. They went to several finals in the 1910s and 1930s, and 1945 was the last time they were in the finals. Before 2016, nothing. Obviously, the 1945 World Series is best known for a goat curse. Tavern owner Billy Sianis brought his pet goat to the park with him, but unfortunately, his odor, the goat, ruined things, and Sianis was not allowed to have the goat at the park. He angrily told people that he puts a hex on the Cubs never to win the World Series. And he was right, in a sense. In 1969, the Chicago Cubs were riding high in late August, early September, first place in the NL East. Of course, this was the time then that it was four divisions. So basically, the winner of each division, East and West, within the American National League, would play a best of five LCS to determine who gets to the World Series. It's not two playoff teams, it's four now. And the Cubs were riding high. But the New York Mets, who nobody expected to do it, at 100 to 1 odds, actually ended up winning over 22 games in September and clipping the Cubs at the end. The Cubs also were not helped by a black cat that stalked outside the Cubs dugout at Shea Stadium. Cubs tried everything to get to the playoffs. 1984, they actually had a breakthrough. Led by Ryan Sandberg, Rick Sutcliffe, who came over from Cleveland in a massive trade that shunned Joe Carter away, and also some timely hitting and pitching. The Cubs won the division in 1984 and would face the San Diego Padres in the LCS best of five. Cubs won the first two games at home, and everything was hunky dory. The Cubs were going to win the World Series, go to the World Series, but somehow, in some way, they choked. Mostly games 4 and 5. Game 3 was kind of a wipeout, but Game 4, Lee Smith, one of the best closers in baseball. All he had to do was get rid of Steve Garvey, who, yes, did play for the Padres, and it would have been great. But unfortunately, Steve Garvey hit a 3-run shot to right field, and San Diego forced a Game 5 the next day. And on that day, the Padres got lucky in the 6th inning. They wore down Rick Sutcliffe, and then a ground ball right through Leon Durham's legs. People say the best ground ball through the legs was Bill Buckner. But why? Leon Durham also had one go through his legs as well at first base for the Cubs. Not many people talk about that, even with the curses. So unfortunately, Durham was kind of a scapegoat, and the Padres won Game 5 and went on to the World Series to lose to the 1984 Tigers. Now, of course, I'm not doing the 1984 Cubs because obviously I want to pick a team that might have a World Series chance. And let's face it, the 1984 Detroit Tigers were dominant. 35 and 5 out of the gate. Jack Morris throwing a no-hitter on the first week of the season. And yeah, that was terrible. So the Cubs regrouped, and 5 years later, in 1989, they actually got themselves a division title. And then lost to San Francisco and Will the Thrill Clark, who hit home run after home run after home run in that LCS. The 89 Cubs obviously won't be there because the Giants, well, even if they been Giants, they would have met the 89 Oakland Athletics, and Oakland would have creamed them. So obviously that team is out of the window. The Cubs struggled for a long time. Their next playoff chase was in 1998 when they won a wild card game over the San Francisco Giants to basically bring themselves to the playoffs, but the Atlanta Braves easily swept them. Cubs had a few playoff matchups sprinkled here and there and everywhere. Gummy bears. But anyway, 2003 was the year they got out of it with Kerry Wood and Mark Pryor, two of the best pitchers in the National League on the same team. The only problem was that the rest of the pitching staff wasn't really that good. Okay, Matt Clement was okay, and they had a bunch of ragtag players. Dusty Baker even came over from the Giants to manage the 2003 Chicago Cubs. You gotta love Dusty Baker or hate him based on his playoff chokery. But anyway, The Cubs looked good against the Florida Marlins in the LCS, winning 3 out of the first 4. They lost Game 5 in Florida. No big deal. They have to go home in Game 6 at Wrigley Field. 3-0, 5 outs away from the World Series. Steve freaking Bartman. It ruined the Cubs' chances as the Cubs just unraveled to give up 8 runs in that 8th inning. I blame Alex Gonzalez's error. The former Blue Jay shortstop, Alex S. Gonzalez, if you will. Because if he didn't boot that double play grounder, they would have had 1 or 2 key outs. And then, who knows, maybe the Cubs would have probably given up only 2 or 3 runs in that 8th inning, and then we'll see what happens. Cubs did have a Game 7, but the fans knew something bad was going to happen. They just wanted to destroy Steve Bartman so badly. The Cubs actually did have a few big home runs from Kerry Wood and Moises Alou to tie the game at 3. I'm thinking, wait a minute, the Cubs could have won Game 7. That's the Cubs. They lost Game 7. The Marlins went on to win the World Series against the New York Yankees, shocking everyone, especially me. The problem with the Cubs is that they just couldn't get past their torment. 2016 was different, facing the San Francisco Giants, who always seem to have playoff aspirations in even-numbered years. Everyone thought that the Cubs were doomed because the Giants won the World Series in 2010, 2012, and 2014 and could win in 2016. I think that's never been done before. That the same franchise has won 4 straight World Series in even-numbered or odd-numbered years. I think the Yankees did that, but I don't remember. But anyway, the Cubs win. So anyway, Cubs faced the Giants. They beat them in 4 games. They faced the LA Dodgers in the LCS. And they beat the Dodgers in 6 games. They won Game 6 at Wrigley Field, and then the World Series finals curse was lifted. First time in 71 years. But the Cubs were down 3-1 after 4 games. Thankfully, they won Game 5 in front of their hometown fans. And then Game 6, they blew out Cleveland before one of the most famous Game 7s in history. I mean, David Ross, of all people, hitting a home run. The Cubs having a 2-run lead in the 8th when Adonis Chapman, yes, he did play for the Cubs, gave up the home run to Rajai Davis, who's not really a home run threat. And then the 10th inning when the Cubs scored a couple, Cleveland scored 1 to make it 8-7. And then thankfully Chris Bryant threw out Michael Mitchell, or whatever his name is. Michael Martinez, right. So the Cubs finally won the World Series. So basically the 2003 Cubs will be part of this What If series because I think they could play the New York Yankees. Part of me also wants to do a Cubs-Red Sox 2003 battle. But in a way, that won't really work. I mean, there's no secret. I'm thinking about the 2003 Boston Red Sox as being the team that should have won the World Series and, you know, had a better fate. But they would be playing the Marlins. I wouldn't change both starters. I could if I wanted to, but no, I don't want to. Because this is a Cubs-centric video. So anyways, so the 2003 Cubs are ready to rumble, and here we go. It's the 2003 Cubs and the 2003 Yankees. For this simulation, I'm using the exact lineups of the New York Yankees from games 1 to 4, at least. Because obviously, we don't know things. But games 5 and 6 will also have the same lineups and the same starting pitchers. So David Wells started game 1 of the real World Series against the Marlins. So David Wells starts game 1 for the Yankees. The Cubs have Kerry Wood on the hill because Kerry Wood does not have to pitch game 7. And that move proves to be costly in a sense. That's the New York Yankees win 5-4. A key game. The Cubs did get the first one of the game when Corey Patterson hit into a fielder's choice that scored Kenny Lofton and make it 1-0. Then Derek Jeter hits a line drive single to left center in the bottom of the 3rd to score Alfonso Soriano to tie the game at 1. Then the Yankees come out swinging as Jason Giambi hit a Texas leader down the right field line to score a run. That being Posada to make it 2-1. And then Alfonso Soriano, yes, he was a Yankee. He hits a 2-run shot to ruin things for Kerry Wood 4-1. However, the Cubs put Lofton and Gruzionic on, and Sammy Sosa hit a 3-run shot to left center field to tie the game. Good old Sammy Sosa. To tie the game at 4. Then Soriano in the 6th comes up and hits a home run to left center field, make it 5-4. Man, that's Soriano. Good. Why did the Yankees let him go? The Cubs had the bases loaded thanks to a Jeter misplay. Eric Carroll's strike went out, and Alex Gonzalez both struck out for strike 3. So in the end, the 2003 Cubs don't do anything much. Sammy Sosa got 3 RBIs. Corey Patterson got 1. Kerry Wood pitches 6 innings, gets the loss. Farnsworth pitches the final 2. The Yankees, Soriano 2 home runs with 3 RBIs. Jeter and Giambi with the other ones. David Wells goes 4 in the 3rd and then gives away to Contreras, who gets the win. Chris Hammond and Tony Osuna come in before Mo Rivera does his job. Mark Pryor pitched Game 6. Obviously, you can't use him. They'll be using him for Game 3 at Wrigley. Andy Pettitte started Game 2 for the New York Yankees, and let's see what happens. The Cubs come through and win the game 11-8, a slugfest to be sure at Yankee Stadium. Nothing happens till the bottom of the 2nd when Alfonso Soriano, he of the Game 1 heroics, hit a big line drive double to score all 3 runs, Giambi, Boone, and Rivera, 3-0. And then Nick Johnson gets an RBI single to score Soriano and make it 4-0. The Cubs look bad. It looks like it's 2-0 for them, especially after Matsui drew a bases-loaded walk and Jorge Posada, got hit by an arm for a pitch, so it's 6-0. The Cubs do score 1 run in the 5th inning as Alex Gonzalez gets a single to score Corey Patterson, 6-1. And then in the 6th, Patterson hits into a fielder's choice. They let the run go to 6-2, and then Ramirez comes through with a 2-run shot to left center to make it 6-4. Alou pops up to end the threat. And then the Cubs in the top of the 8th. After Kenny Lofton gets a base hit and Mark Grudzielanek walks, Sammy Sosa hits a single to score Lofton, make it 6-5. Chris Hammond comes in to pitch. And after a few key outs, Moises Alou brings in Grudzielanek to make it 6-6. Then Carroll's hits an RBI single to make it 7-6. Then Alex Gonzalez hits an RBI single to make it 8-6. And then the Cubs pile up the runs in the 9th inning as Sammy Sosa with an RBI single. Aramis Ramirez grounds to maybe a double play, but he beats the throw of the first to score Sosa to make it 10-6. And then Moises Alou gets an RBI double, 11-6. The New York Yankees do put up a few runs. Juan Rivera hits a home run off Mike Remlinger, and Jose Posada takes a bases-loaded walk. But Jason Giambi strikes out swinging, and the Cubs survive with an 11-8 win. So Sosa with 2 RBIs, Patterson with 1, Aramis Ramirez with 3, Alou with 2, Carroll's with 1, Alex Gonzalez with 2. The pitching, Sembrano 4 2/3. Juan Cruz came in for an inning in the 3rd. Farnsworth came in for another 2 innings, but got the win. Mike Remlinger for 1/3 of an inning before Joe Borowski came in to save the day. The Yankees, Soriano with 3 RBIs, Johnson, Matsui, Posada with 2, Rivera with 1. Andy Pettitte comes in for 7 innings. Ends up getting lost. Chris Hammond blows the save, and then they go with Osuna, Hitchcock. The Yankees in Game 3 used Soriano, Jeter, Giambi, Williams, Matsui, Posada, Kareem, and Aaron Boone. The Cubs using their 8 guys. Mark Pryor comes in to pitch Game 3. Obviously, they save him for Game 3. Mike Mussina pitched Game 3 for the Yankees in real life. And the Cubs come up with a 6-4 win on home turf as Damian Miller, the catcher, actually hits a solo home run that scores himself. Beautiful. But the Yankees come back. Posada hits a line drive single to score Jason Giambi. Well, Kareem Garcia hits a base hit, 2-1. And then Moises Alou comes in bottom of the 5th and crushes one off Mussina to tie the game at 2. But the Yankees come back. Posada with an RBI single to score Bernie Williams, and Aaron Boone hit a fielder's choice for Matsui to come in 4-2. However, Carroll's with a ground ball single in the 7th to score Patterson, made it 4-3, and then the bottom of the 8th was huge. Kenny Lofton hit a double to score Damian Miller. Chris Hammond comes in to pitch. Sosa hits an RBI double to make it 5-4, and Moises Alou hits another RBI to score Sosa 6-4. Yankees get someone on first and second, but Giambi strikes out swinging, game over. Yankees, Posada 2 RBIs, Kareem Garcia, Aaron Boone with RBIs themselves. Mike Mussina went 7 innings and lost. Chris Hammond the other inning. The Cubs, as you see, Alou and Miller with home runs. Damian Miller, really? So the New York Yankees, as you can see down here, going with Roger Clemens against Matt Clement. So Clemens pitched game 4 in real life. Clement is only pitching game 4 because of the Cubs using them. And the New York Yankees pull one out of the hat against the Chicago Cubs and win 7-5 in the 13th inning. So, big job there. Bernie Williams gets a big RBI single. Jason Giambi stupidly went to third base, and Corey Patterson gunned him down. Matsui hits a big double to make it 2-0, and then Kareem Garcia with an RBI make it 3-0. Cubs do fight in the bottom of the first. Moises Alou with an RBI single, make it 3-1. Aramis Ramirez hit a home run to make it 3-2 in the bottom of the fourth before Alex Gonzalez with a sac fly to score Alou. Fourth, it's 3-3. The score being 3-3. Nothing much happens to the top of the 10th when Jason Giambi hits a home run to make it 5-3. We thought the Yankees are now splitting the series 2-2. Cubs use, and Ozuna comes into the game to pitch at 5-3, but Aramis Ramirez with a fly ball double to make it 5-4. And Moises Alou also hit a double to make it 5-5 before the Yankees use Hitchcock. Carroll and Gonzalez go down swinging 5-5. The New York Yankees don't do much in the top of the 11. Bottom 11 is nothing for the Cubs. Yankees get runners on first and second, but Matsui lines out. The Cubs have a runner on third, but unfortunately they couldn't get him in. Moises Alou strikes out and Eric Karros flew out. So at 5-5, Juan Cruz comes in and terrible wild pitch to score Posada. Soriano hits a line drive single to score Kareem Garcia 7-5. Cubs, runners on first and second, but nothing doing. Grzelcyk strikes out swinging. The Yankees, as you see here, a lot of pinch runners and all that. Soriano with an RBI. Giambi 2 RBIs. Williams with 1. Matsui 1. Garcia with 1. They go with Clemens, Hammond, Mariano Rivera. I'm surprised that they used Mariano Rivera in the 9th inning with the game tied. But he pitched it in there. Osuna gave up those 2 runs, and Hitchcock came in. Jose Contreras gets the win, just like in game 1. And Juan Acevedo. Remember him? Avocado Acevedo? Cubs, as you see here, Ramirez pair for RBIs. This is Alou to RBIs. Alex Gonzalez 1. Cubs used Clement for 7, then Farnsworth, Borowski, Remlinger, Antonio Fonseca. He was a Cub. Dave Fairs and Juan Cruz. Go back at it. David Wells is on the hill for the Yankees. And of course, Kerry Wood for the Cubs. Both doing their 4-man rotations. No Alfonso Soriano because of some kind of injury. So Enrique Wilson has to come in and play second base for the team. And it didn't work out. The Cubs blew out the Yankees 13-4. Now, bear in mind, this is 2-3-2 format that baseball uses. So obviously, the Cubs would host games 3, 4, and 5. Derek Jeter did hit a home run to make it 1-0. But at the end of it, Aramis Ramirez beat out a double play to score Marcus Grzelcyk to tie the game at 1. And then Jorge Posada hits a 3-run shot to make it 4-1. Yankees are so close to winning the series, going home. But Damian Miller hit a ground rule double in the bottom of the 4th to make it 4-2. Sammy Sosa hits a home run in the 5th to make it 4-3. And then the floodgates open. Alex Gonzalez hits a 2-run home run down the left field line. Fantastic for the guy who in game 6 saved the Cubs bacon with that double play ball. Sammy Sosa hits a 2-run double, scoring Wood and Grzelcyk. Corey Patterson hits an RBI to make it 8-4. Eric Carroll hits a home run to make it 9-4. And then four more runs for them. Randall Simon came in as a pinch hitter for Kerry Wood. Remember him? Sausage Gate? He makes it 10-4. Sosa with a line drive double to score Grzelcyk. Aramis Ramirez hits one down the line, 13-4. The Yankees scored 4 runs on only 3 hits, and those hits were Jeter, Posada, Kareem, and and that was the home run. 2 hits were home runs, Jeter and Posada. David Wells, 5 in the 3rd, sucked. Hammond, Osuna, Acevedo, and Jose Contreras couldn't do anything. The Cubs, using some help, Sosa, Ramirez, Carlos, Gonzalez, and Randall Simon. 5 home runs in a +3 Wrigley Field. Sosa with 4 RBIs, Patterson with 1, Aramis with 3, Eric Carlos with 1, Alex Gonzalez with 2, Miller and Simon. Well went 8. Wood went 8. Todd Wellmeyer. We got ourselves a big game as the Cubs and Yankees game 6. Carlos Zambrano can bring the Cubs a pennant. He'll face Andy Pettit. See the lineups? Did the Cubs win? No. 11-1 Yankees. Are you for real? Wow. Corey Patterson got a triple. It's 1-0. Cubs are going to win this thing. New York Yankees. Posada, RBI single to score Nick Johnson. Giambi with a blue double to center field to make it 3-1 with Matsui Posada scoring. And Kareem Garcia with an RBI himself, 4-1. Then Nick Johnson with 2 RBI single. Jorge Posada with a 2-run single himself. Jason Giambi with an RBI single, 9-1. Cubs couldn't get anything going. Bernie Williams hit one deep in the 5th inning to make it 11-1. And that was how the score was. Brutal. Zambrano only lasted an inning. Then Wellmeyer, Cruz, Alfonseca, Thayer, Farnsworth, and Remlinger came in, but nothing happened. Yankees, RBIs by Nick Johnson with 2, Bernie Williams 2, Jorge Posada 3, Jason Giambi 3, and Kareem Garcia. This is at Game 7. Cubs, Yankees. Cubs are in the first inning. Here's the 1-1 to Sosa. Sosa hits it deep to center. This could be trouble. Back. Say goodbye. That one. Slamming Sammy Sosa. First blood to the Cubs. Bottom of the second. Runners on second and third. Here's the 1-1. Kareem Garcia, base hit. Here comes Posada with the time run, 1-1. Beautiful job. Bottom of the third. Nick Johnson, the 2-1. Johnson hits it to right center. This could be trouble. Back at the fence. Say goodbye. That one. Nick Johnson. How about that? It's 2-1. Top of the fourth. Sosa struck out. Here's the 1-1 to Patterson. Patterson deep to right center field. Williams, giving chase. It's gone. Say goodbye to that one. Corey Patterson. This guy is for real. It's 2-2. Bottom of the fifth. Runners on the corners. The 1-1 to Matsui. Matsui dips one to the center. Out. Drop in. Here comes Cheater. It's 3-2 Yankees. 2 quick outs here in the Cubs' 6th inning. Sammy Sosa now takes a 2-1. Sosa drips one deep left. This could be gone. It is. Say goodbye to that one. Slamming Sammy Sosa. 3-3. This is amazing. Bottom of the 6th. Runner on first. Here's the 2-1 to Boone. Boone hits one to right center for a double. It'll bounce. It's going to bounce to the wall. Giambi is going to take a chance. He is coming. The relay. Nothing. Giambi. 4-3 Yankees. Unbelievable. Bottom of the 7th. Runners on second. Bernie Williams got to second base thanks to Farnsworth's wild pitch. Here's the 1-1 to Posada. Posada. Base hit to right field. Here comes Bernie. Sosa cannot get him in time. It's 5-3 Yankees. Top of the 8th. Bases are loaded. Here comes Gruzillanek. The 2-1. Gruzillanek ground by the third. They have to go home and save. Gonzalez. What a head to play. 5-4. Bases are loaded again. Here comes Patterson. 1 out. The 1-1 on the way from Hamlin. And a ground ball. Patterson. Second. The short for 1. Not in time. Patterson does it. It's an RBI fielder's choice. Kenny Lofton. 5-5. 9th inning. David DeLucci is in the game as designated hitter. As he was a pinch runner for Nick Johnson. Here comes Sandman. Rivera. Alou. Fly ball to center. Easily caught by Williams. Carroll's. Ground ball, third base. Easy. Alex Gonzalez to first. It is in time. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Here comes Joe Borowski. Matsui takes a breaking ball for ball 4. Here comes the 1-1 to Posada. Posada. Drive. Base hit to center field. Matsui's going for third. It's game 7. He's safe. Matsui with a perfect move. Runners on first and third. Giambi. The 2-1. Giambi. Base hit. Matsui scores. The Yankees are on top of the world again. A 2-year hiatus. Well worth it. The Yankees win the 2003 World Series, and the Cubs again suffer massive heartbreak. This time in Game 7 when they thought they had it all in the bag. Nothing doing. Their final score, 6-5 New York. They win Game 7. They win both Game 6 and 7 on home turf and deny the Cubs a World Series. Unbelievable. Unbelievable as it is. Yet another Whatif series that actually burned the team that I was trying to help. So anyway, you see the final line score. Sosa with 2 home runs. Patterson with 1. Sosa 2 RBIs. Patterson with 2. Grzelcyk with 1. In the end, Mark Pryor went 5 2/3, gave up 4 runs. Farnsworth came in. Then Remlinger. Then Borowski was the guy who choked. Gave the winning run to the Yankees. David DeLucci was pinch runner for Nick Johnson. David DeLucci. I think it was played for the 2001. I don't know. Nick Johnson hit a home run. Matsui Posada, Giambi Garcia Boot. It was a team effort to score those 6 RBIs. Mussina went 7. Hammond came in for the 8th. Didn't do so well. And then Mo Rivera came in the 9th. And there you have it. The 2003 Cubs would have lost the World Series to the New York Yankees no matter what happened. And that is that. So, happy times ahead for the New York Yankees and sad times for the Chicago Cubs. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.